Greetings YouTube, Skill Incarnate bringing you all the latest indie gaming goodness. It takes a lot to impress me nowadays. I've played a lot of indie games, and at the moment Steam Greenlight and Steam Early Access is a little bit of a cesspit. There are so many terrible games that are making it through Early Access, and so many more mediocre games that are really on the store but probably shouldn't, or on the store for a lot more than what they should be sold for. Now, you only really have to look at my reviews to see a few examples of this, but when I find a game that it really stands above all of the other stuff that's in early access, I like to give a bit of recognition to the developer and to try and give the game a little bit of a shout out. Now, Subterrain, the game we're playing today, is actually one of those games. It's really a game that had no fanfare, very little advertisement on Steam. In fact, I don't think I ever saw this on the front page of Steam at all. And it was only when looking for another survival crafting game, a game similar to Project Zomboid, which is of course my favourite game, that I found this. I jokingly refer to this game as Project Zomboid In Space, but that's really doing the game a disservice. It's actually so much more than that. Now, I'm not going to give too much away because I haven't played a lot of the game myself, but the basic story and the setup for the first level of the game is that you are a brilliant doctor. Due to an accident, you have also been branded a murderer, a crime which you may or may not have committed. While incarcerated, a terrible plague or a sickness sweeps through the colony and begins to take its toll on the colonists. With food running low and with air also starting to run out, you must now escape from the prison and unravel the mysteries of the Mars MPO Colony. I'm not going to give any more away than that. We're going to jump into the game and we're actually going to find out the mysteries of the colony for ourselves. Now, I'm going to play on the hardcore difficulty. The hardcore difficulty will make the game a little harder in terms of enemy health. So the enemies are going to be a little bit tougher. And the infection, the sickness that is going through the colony will actually spread a lot faster, making the game have a sense of urgency. We do need to get to the bottom of the sickness and cure or escape the planet. I'm not sure whether this plague can actually be stopped or even slowed down, but we'll find out as we start the game. I'm also going to turn on permadeath to give us that Project Zomboid feel. One mistake and it's game over. I'm going to leave the intro and the tutorial on because I am somewhat getting used to the game myself. And the intro, I feel, really sets up the game because it's a good starting point to introduce us to our main character and of course the Mars colony itself.
The fourth planet in the solar system, Mars. Humanity's first colony on Mars, MPO. MPO is a new hope for thousands of people seeking a fresh start. I didn't get one though. For over 15 months, I've been confined in MPO's prison, Block B05, Cell 6. My name is, well, was Dr. Robert West. It's just West now, at least to the guards. A lab accident granted me a new title, murderer. I was thrown in here right after. That's all in the past. I've got worse problems now. My rations have run out. The guards are missing. Emergency power's still on. I've been stuck in here for a week. I still can't figure out what happened. When this began, my cell was never open for the day's morning head count. After several hours, my tray slot opened up. It was the guard, Hank. His eyes were strange. I could tell something horrible was going on. There will be a transfer today. Be ready at 1700 hours. And take this. It'll be your only meal today. I heard shuffling and whispering through the slot. I couldn't make out what they were saying. My trace light closed abruptly without another word. A prisoner transfer? And what was going on with Hank's eyes? For a brief moment, I had forgotten I was hungry at all. A siren went off.
Attention, all prisoners. Cells will be opened one at a time. Follow the guards and obey their instructions. Prisoners that fail to comply will be executed on the spot. Cell block B05 is first.
I heard the unmistakable rumble of cell doors opening through the walls.
Cell 1. Cell 2. Cell 3. Cell 4. Cell 5.
Next was my cell. I was ready to get out of here.
Cell 6.
Suddenly, darkness. It was completely silent. I peeked through the gap in the door, but the hall was empty. The guards were gone. Emergency power finally kicked in. The air duct's fans started spinning again, but the door didn't budge. I was stuck. I've tried yelling, pounding, clanking my can. No one's coming. My last resort is the air duct. The fan's barely spinning. Maybe it's safe to pass through by now. I don't have a choice. I can't hold on for much longer. I have to survive. If only to see her one more time.
And here we are in the game. We are the Dr. West, and our first task is to escape our prison cell. We're going to do that by, of course, getting used to the game mechanics. Dragging. West can drag some objects. Moving objects can sometimes reveal hidden doors, items, or air vents. Moving objects will drain some stamina. So I guess we'll have to move this table. Here we go. So this is a top-down isometric game. I guess the visual aesthetic of the game is a lot more simplistic than Project Zomboid. Open areas West explores will be dark, but West can use a light source to help him see. Once a light source is equipped, it can be toggled on and off. Flashlights will need a charged power pack in order to function and can be turned off to conserve energy. West will automatically turn his light off during sleeping and travelling by tram to save power. So it's not too dark down here, so I am going to continue on without using my my light source. It looks like I've just got a very simple, just a glow stick. Okay. Scan. West can scan for interactable objects. It will highlight any nearby containers, doors, and items on the ground. This is Jake's cell. He had a serious sweet tooth. Ah, there we go. So we've got some food. Tap water. There is a risk of contamination. That doesn't sound good. Oh, you actually do need to go to the toilet. That's interesting. That's one thing that I haven't seen any survival game touch on, except for maybe Rust. Sorry, not Rust. It's Ark Survival. Ark Survival involves you actually having to defecate. It's in the worst possible way. You just run around and just randomly soil yourself. Probably not the most elegant way to represent bodily functions in the game. When West is not facing an interactable objects, press the interact button to interact with items on the floor. Pick up or drop items on the floor by dragging and dropping or right-clicking on the item. Press the Get All button to pick up all items. Items can only be used once in West's inventory. Let's have that drink. So it looks like both of my hands are full, so I won't be able to carry anything else. So this 1 and 2 slot are actually I believe what is in your hands. So here we go. So this guy, he doesn't look entirely human, and as you can see, there's his blood looks very, very infected. There's things swimming around in it. Inventory. Once he has a bag equipped, West will manage his inventory. The inventory is organised into 6 different categories. Some items can be used by double clicking. The items can be moved around by dragging and dropping with the right mouse button. Stacks can be split by pressing left shift and the left mouse button. Drag and drop items of the same drag and drop the same items on top of each other to stack them. There are different stack limits for each kind of item. Gamepad instructions. I don't have a gamepad. And this looks like a backpack. Here we go. So now I've got a bag. The bag has 6 categories. One is your equipment. So equipment is stuff that you can actually equip on you. Weapons and tools. Medical is obviously your medical supplies, bandages, health kits and so forth. Food and drink are just, pretty much what we found so far. Chocolate bars, water, so forth. Miscellaneous is your crafting items that you can make things out of. Materials are your items that you can break down into raw materials, so items you can recycle for bits and pieces. And keycards are used. It is a sci-fi game after all, so you won't find physical keys, but more plastic keycards which will provide access to the rest of the facility. So we can now carry 48 units of items. That actually sounds like a lot, but it's really not. We've got to pretty much make most items in the game. The only items that we're going to find are very simple weapons and some armor. If we want to create, here we go, roast beef. I'm not sure if much of this was ever beef. It's sealed and safe from contamination. Definitely take that. I do need to keep spamming that scan button though. The game is very good at hiding items just out of reach, so you do have to be pretty thorough. All the best items in the game, of course, are going to be hidden, but at least now we've got a little bit of food on us, a little bit of water. I don't have a drink from the tap, and risk contamination. So we're going to head on out of the prison. I think we've gathered everything that we can of any value. I accidentally went to the wrong cell, but that's okay. We've looted everything we can. Nothing there. So the first thing I wanted to mention is the atmosphere of this game. The game, even though it has a lot more of a simplistic view than Project Zomboid, it's just a vertical top-down view. It really does have that element of tension and mystery. There really isn't a lot of explanation. Like with Project Zomboid, there isn't a lot of a story. You're in a zombie apocalypse, you have to survive. Locked doors can be opened using the appropriate keycard. Search the area or look for clues in the logs to find the right keycards. Hacked keycards can be found all over MPO. So obviously we have to go down here. Okay, there's a guard room. Of course we can find a weapon. That's in pretty good shape, and there's our key card. Evacuation status update. Let's see what that note says. Outbreak response plan 11B status update. Attention all security staff, the following is a status update regarding 11B. 92% of MPO's population is infected. Wow, we're really in some trouble. Infected can be identified by bioscan or rudimentary metal detector test if scanning equipment is unavailable. The survivors that were ordered to report to security staff at Murray Space Center had made it there safely. According to their last report, there was 134 uninfected individuals. MPO's emergency response team meeting was presided over by 7 surviving council members. The council members unanimously voted to shut down power for the entire city, excluding Murray Space Centre and the MPO prison. So that explains why I didn't die up until now. The evacuation plans for the prison have been approved. The remaining staff and prisoners are to load onto trams and rally at Murray Space Centre. Once at Murray, staff and prisoners will be assigned to shuttle proper. So a shuttle proper safety procedures must be followed. All security staff and prisoners must wear proper IEVA suits before boarding shuttles, and Navcom diagnostics must be run before takeoff. Once approved for takeoff, all shuttles are to dock with Mars Orbital Station and await further instructions. Prisoners must be transported to Murray Space Centre by 2300 hours and are to be handled with extreme caution. Some of them are serving sentences for murder. Well, that's actually me included. They are not to be left unsupervised. Again, do not leave a prisoner unsupervised during the transfer. If we follow protocol, we should very well avoid a complete catastrophe. Well, I'm sorry to say this, buddy, but 92% mortality rate is a little bit beyond a catastrophe. That's a complete destruction of the colony. That's an extinction level event. So it looks like this is actually what became of the evacuees. They never made it to. Well, at least they never made it out of this section of the base. And it looks like I need a keycard for all of this. Here's the gym. So it appears that all water that comes out of taps or out of anything carries the chance of infection. And I don't know at this point whether I can cure infection, so I have to be somewhat careful about what I do. There must be a cure for the infection, though. It appears that eating certain foods as well will cause you, or to at least run the risk of becoming infected. I think the chocolate bar, yeah. The candy bar, it's sealed, but it could be still contaminated. So eating food can give you contamination, and also certain drinks will give you contamination. So there must be a cure, or at least a way to slow it down. This looks ominous. Let's have a look. Oh, he was waiting. I was waiting to king hit you, buddy. Right in the dome. Okay, so there's not really much in here, surprisingly. Hack keycard. That'll probably be for the door to the north. Heatsink. Frost. 100 power. So that's a heatsink for a gun. Good gun craft item. I don't know what its use is, but it sounds quite useful. I better take that. Hey, pistol. Definitely have that. And a power pack. A small portable energy pack. It doesn't hold much, but you can't use ranged weapons or a shield without it. Okay, so I'm guessing that was what will power our little pistol here. Alright, so I'm feeling somewhat more secure with a gun in hand. But as this is a survival game, we're of course going to conserve our ammunition and our firearms. I've still got my trusty baton. We are going to try and get the hell out of here, as Dr. West has aptly said. Nothing down here. I made it to the administrative level of the prison, but I haven't seen a single person. No one that is still breathing anyway. The administrative area is where visitation and clerical work of the prison takes place. But it's also the main entrance of the prison. I was carted in here by tram. I wonder if it's still operational. I might want to check out the oxygen and thermal regulation systems while I'm here too. chances are I'll need to know what these look like if I ever need to do repairs. From the look of this place, all hell's broken loose. I don't think there will be any guards in here, considering what I've seen so far. Hopefully there's still a weapon lying around. Well, I've got that taken care of. Somewhere in case whatever's done this is still lurking around. I hope security measures aren't online anymore. Well, me too. I don't think the pistol's going to really do much against an automated turret or a electric fence. I need to make it to the main gate. So we need to actually make it to the tram. And hope that we can take the tram into the middle of the colony. Because what we've got here is this prison could eventually run out of power. Power pack. Power packs are the only means to power your equipment. They are required for ranged weapons and flashlights. West may recharge them at charging stations located throughout the game. Power packs are upgradable through research. Good to know. So they're basically my ammunition. Now there we go. It's filling up my power pack. That means I can get a couple more shots from my pistol. Ah, here we go. So we've got a flashlight. And we've got a power pack. So what we'll do is we're going to charge up our power pack. We've emptied out that oxygen filter. It's a broken oxygen filter. Something's overloaded it or sabotaged it. It's junk. Researching this will allow you to create functional filter. That sounds very useful. Let's take that with us. Throw and interact to assign a color and notes. The location of the beacon will appear on your map. Again, sounds very useful. Okay, so I've got 2 full charged power packs, and it appears these charging stations are that they will actually recharge themselves. So as long as I have power in this location, I don't have to worry about running out of ammo. Unfortunately, my gun does have its own durability. Oh! Take that! I hate going in these doors because... There we go. He king hit me. He didn't actually do a hell of a lot of damage to me. So down the bottom you've got your condition. So your condition is basically your overall health. I just want to make sure every time I open these doors, I'm always scared one of these guys is going to jump out and sucker punch me. So you kind of have to come in and do a bit of a sweep before you walk into the room. There's one there. There might be more of these guys. The corpses are also a bit unnerving because I don't know if they're actually truly dead. I keep expecting one of them to jump up and try and attack me, but they're somewhat safe here. So West, despite the game being on essentially hard, is actually pretty hardy. There is a random chance that you'll get different debuffs, similar to a lot of other survival games, specifically zombie games. There is a chance a zombie will infect you. Activating West's shield requires power packs and enough energy. West can move and dodge while blocking, but is unable to attack or sprint. Blocking an attack using the shield will absorb damage depending on the power pack tech level, as well as protect him from fractures and bleeding. Getting hit while the shield is up will drain energy from West's power pack. So that's interesting. Let's conduct a test. Sweet. So by holding down the button, I can keep the shield up as long as I want. That's definitely going to become handy in a fight. And speaking of handy, that looks like a SMG part. It is. So I'm not sure if I can craft my own guns, but let's see. It is researchable. The SMG parts have a researchable flag. So I'm guessing you can actually make guns, or make better guns than the ones we're carrying. It's a real guessing game as to what is important in this. Torn towels. Again, you can see that there's a recycle yield for each of these items, and I don't know what these materials are or what their value is. So just for now, until we really start to run out of space, I'm just going to grab everything. Broken scalpels, torn shirts, bugger it, we'll take the lot. We're getting our rob on. Crowbar, an iconic weapon for a free man. Very funny. We'll take everything. And as I haven't played Half-Life in a while, we're going to get our crowbar and try and see if we can get our smash on, get a couple of the zombies. I've been pretty lucky. I did mention before debuffs, and there are several debuffs in the game you can get upon getting struck by a zombie. And they involve, they can fracture your legs or your arms. And for that you need a special health kit to heal yourself. They can infect you, and they of course can lower your health. Depending on the zombie and the sort of hit, whether it was a critical hit, they can hit you for different levels of damage. Probably the worst that you can get is a bleed out debuff. Just taking all this stuff. The worst, yeah, because if without the right medical equipment, you're not going to be able to... Whoops. Take the box. I'm hoping, speaking of medical equipment, this kind of looks like a infirmary. Ah, here we go. Basic medical kit. A standard issue medical kit that can be found all around Mars. 20% health. Okay. Decontamination pills. Okay, so this is what we'll need in case we become contaminated. And that may be from getting hit by a zombie or from drinking water to make us sick. Weakens synthetic drug used by soldiers and security forces during conflicts. Allows users to move a little more swiftly and without fatigue. Absolutely handy. I'll take everything. Again, I'm probably going to have to make some hard decisions as to what I'm going to keep. But for now, while we can, rotten food. Again, that may have a specific use that I'm not aware of. These look like fridges. Energy drink, very good. So we haven't got a hell of a lot of food, but we've got enough to keep us going for now. Let's go have a bit of a sleep. Yeah, here we go. This is the infirmary bay. Sleeping. Fatigue is reduced by sleeping. Wes can sleep by interacting with beds. Pressing a movement key will wake him up. Sleeping will reduce Wes' fatigue, and time will pass more quickly. Upon waking, Wes will be given a stamina reduction bonus. Fatigue increases gradually over time, but I nearly said increases something else, but physical activities such as running and melee attacks increase the rate it builds. Fatigue can affect West's maximum stamina level. So again, like Project Zomboid, you will become more sluggish, and the longer that you remain without sleep, the worse your condition will be. So we're not going to let our condition get any worse. Just going to rob this place. Again, this is all it's all rubbish. But we're going to break it down for valuable materials. Nothing. Let's sleep away from the dead dude. Our fatigue is at 20%, so... And it appears that we've gotten our health back by sleeping. I'll wait till it gets down to our 5%. That'll do. I don't know if enemies can attack you in your sleep, but you probably want to try and catch some Z's somewhere that's out of the way with a locked door. Or hopefully several locked doors between you and the enemy. So, how's my inventory? 41 of 48. So I am starting to flag under the weight of so much stuff. Touch tablet. Again, I really don't know what a lot of this stuff is going to do. I'm just going to take what I can, and when I run out of space, then I'll have to start dropping things. Customize and upgrade ranged weapons by assembling them with different barrel and heatsink parts. Each core part of a ranged weapon has limited pin link capacity and durability. All 3 parts are upgradable through research. Some parts have special attributes like laser sights or silencers. Weapons can be repaired by placing them in the nano reconstruction bay. So we can repair weapons. Something tells me that's going to be a little later though. Hacked keycards. Okay. So those keycards are probably to get out of the prison. Oh, a knife. Standard issue knife for MPO security. And more bags. So I think I'm just about full up on what I can carry. I am. This looks like the exit. Okay, keycard locked. I'll have to look around for a keycard to get out of the prison. Let's have a look around. Storage shelf. Ah, here we go. Keycard, prison gate. My bag is full. So we haven't done too bad. We've virtually managed to take almost everything from the prison. What I want to do is see if I can put stuff on the tram. I finally made it to the prison rail station. Incredibly, there is a fully operational tram. It never left wherever it was headed, and that's probably because all the colonists all died in the escape attempt. Power seems to be flowing from the prison district. There's no telling how long it'll be before it gets knocked out. Or whatever did this will be back. I don't want to find out. Central control was the heart of MPO, so there's probably plenty of supplies I can gather there, maybe even other survivors to make contact with, and perhaps something to eat too. So that's good. Holy crap, the tram's still operational. Interact with the tram door to travel to other locations. The location West is travelling to must be powered first by using the power control console in Central. Riding the tram will take in-game time, but West will recover a little fatigue during this. When on board, West will not consume oxygen and thermal energy from his canisters. So that's a bit heartening because 1, I don't have oxygen or thermal energy canisters, and 2, if we're going to Central, I'm assuming it'll have some power and have some oxygen as well, because if it doesn't, we're just going to get off the train and just completely cark it as soon as we take one step out. Oh, magic. So this tram actually does have a storage bay. So let's get rid of some of our more heavy items. I'm actually very close to my weight limit. So I'm going to look for the more heavy things to... Okay, the baton, that's pretty heavy. Power pack I'm not going to throw out. Food scraps, I'm not interested. These are all very light items. I want to throw out the heavy stuff. That's heavy. That's heavy. And that's very heavy. And the knife is heavy. So we've got our weight down a bit. But not enough. Not yet. The beef. Where's the beef? Alright, so 10 of 15. We'll chuck our spare power pack. I may regret that. We'll see how we go. beacon, heatsink, and our underwear. We don't need any more underwear. Okay, so the tram is now full up. We've got plenty of items stuck in the tram. Our job now is to go back and actually pick up the items that we didn't take last time. Oop, there we go. Again, I really don't know what the value of these items is. I'm basically taking everything I can. And when we get out of here and we actually get to our destination, I'll work out what to throw out. Here we go. I always hate these tiny rooms because the infected mutants, they enjoy hiding in these little rooms, and as soon as you open the door you get a fist in the head. Camera. Here, muty. Jeff Murray figure. Small statue that represents the founder of MPO, Jeff Murray. That could be useful. It might be a quest item, so we'll take that. Another one. Vacuum robot. There's a lot of junk items in this game. Okay, so the last door that we have to check is here. Okay, this looks like the... here we go. So this is the machine which is producing the oxygen in this whole area. If I was to take that out, we'd probably die shortly after. Power packs. Very good. And this looks like the thermal, the thermal generator. Again, we need all of these machines. If I go and unhook this unit, it will actually give me a thermal generator unit for research, but it'll also turn this place into a fridge. So we might just avoid those for now. And I think we've actually gathered everything we need, so we're going to head out of here. We still don't have any infection yet. We're very lucky. And time to hop on the tram. So where can we go? It looks like every other location apart from the central station is locked, so that's a no-brainer. 1 hour and 40 minutes. Why not? Now, because we're on the train, we should get a little bit of our fatigue back. My fatigue's only at 16, so let's speed up time a bit. And my body condition is going down. That may be because I'm very hungry. I'll have to have a look. Yeah, so my thirst is very high, and so is my hunger. I need to get something to eat. Energy drink. 60%. Okay. Alright. So we've got one more drink. We've actually got a couple of energy drinks, so we're pretty good. And we're now at the central station. I was kind of expecting a bit of a resistance here at the first gate. At least a couple of the mutants trying to stop me from getting to the platform. But it's pretty quiet. It looks actually pretty safe here. Okay, and this is a save console. So that is a good point for us to stop the playthrough. And yeah, hopefully you did enjoy this. I'm going to save the game. This was the first part of my hopefully long-running series on the game Subterrain. One final note, you'll probably notice the audio is a bit better. I've actually did a little bit of research and tweaked my hardware and software. So hopefully the sound should be a lot louder and a lot more clear. So hopefully that will be a nice positive change of the videos. I did get a bit of feedback that my sound was a little low. And that was to do with the software and just a bug with my operating system and these particular headphones. So It is a lot more clearer, and hopefully it should be a lot easier to listen to me. So that was it. If you enjoyed this episode, as usual, leave me a comment, leave me a subscribe if you're feeling generous. All of that feedback, those likes, those subscribes really help me. It gives me a bit of an idea on what people like, and it also it does help, you know, in this age of YouTube algorithms, and in a way that it works with likes and view time. The more feedback you give me, the more people are going to view this video. So yeah, try and give me a like, give me a subscribe if you did like this, if you did find it useful, and hopefully some more people will actually get to view this. So I enjoyed this episode. Hopefully I'll join you for the next one. And in the second episode, we're going to explore the central station and see what's available there, and hopefully maybe even get to do a bit of crafting. So hopefully you'll join me then. Until next time, Skill Incarnate out.